Let us start this video with a shout out to Community Star Member of the Month, Voltron Supreme. The positivity and clarifications are great, and I have that coin allocation video brewing. Being part of an awesome community of people, it's what makes being on YouTube so worthwhile. In honor of being the first, I introduce a new character for the show, Bull Bear. Speaking of community, I want to tease something amazing. Shown on the screen here is a very real email that I received from the Ankr team. Just a day ago, I received this surprising message from the Ankr community management team. With a little luck, my friend, we might be going even deeper into the sea than we even thought possible. In today's fresh episode of Unusual Due Diligence, we demystify strange words written by the Ankr folks, parachain bond, liquid staking, and DOT auctions. Now, if you followed this channel since the early beginning, you know that I'm always pushing to grow and learn more. This episode kicks off the first attempt at something a little, let's call it unusual. If you haven't seen my September 2021 update video on how the videos for this channel are produced, I encourage you to check it out. The link is below, and it is a quick watch. It's for you if you like knowing the secret sauce behind channels. Well, it's the secret sauce video. In this video, what I'm going to kickstart is a new run of videos that mix in a parody-inspired review of toys that you can buy yourself. In the description for this video and the next series of videos, you'll find a link to the toy shown in it. Clicking that link will let you buy the toy thrust into this video. Doing that supports the channel, but also brings you one step closer to world domination, or so I hear. Welcome to Unusual Due Diligence. I'm your host Poseidon, god of the sea, and let's ride this wave together. World domination has a certain ring to it. Let's talk about Ankr. Today's topic is inspired by this post by the Ankr community. If you're like me, there's a lot of new and strange words here. The post reads, "Get ready for the DOT auctions." We are excited to announce Ankr will join Clover Finance in bringing users a superior KSM and DOT liquid staking experience through Ankr's parachain bonds. Get ready for the DOT auctions. When I first saw this tweet by the Ankr official account, my first thought was, Ankr is partnering up with the Department of Transportation? Then I reread the tweet and realized that we need to dive deep. Let's start with what a parachain bond is, because it's not Bond, James Bond. Parachain bonds sound like a magic spell that you cast, and for Ankr, they kind of are. As you know, Ankr is about connecting the rapid growth of Web 3.0. It is my mind what comes after AWS, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Azure. For reasons anyone in the crypto space can appreciate, I can't give you my background other than to say, trust me, bro. To understand parachain bonds, we need to have a conversation about polkadots. That's polkadot, not polka dots. When you're organized as a company with a robust careers hiring page and actively work with as many blockchain and crypto providers as Ankr, you have to believe the company is taking a self-interested decision on what initiatives are the ones we all should be paying attention to. Think of it this way. You could go to a toy store and be completely confused about which one to buy, or you could buy the one used in this video with the link in the description below. Polkadot is what the Ankr team is calling a protocol disruptor, and when you start diving into the literature on what a Polkadot is, and couple that with my past videos on Ankr, you can really start to see the big picture. Ankr, as you can see here, considers Polkadot a protocol disruptor designed to make it possible for blockchain networks to talk to one another. Imagine for a moment that you're Ankr and you're democratizing access to tens, if not hundreds of different blockchain solutions out in the wild. When you come upon Polkadot, I'm sure the people at Ankr were sending flowers and poems that said, "You complete me." What Polkadot does is allow for any data to go from one blockchain to another. Let's use an example. In the world before Polkadot, if you wanted to mail a letter from, say, Europe to the United States, you could not. Your local mail carrier in Europe wouldn't know how to hand off the letter to the sea transport that would ultimately get the mail to the United States. Polkadot means that letter, well, it can sail smoothly now from one carrier or blockchain to the next. But wait, it gets even better. What if every time you sent a letter, the post office stuffed a $20 bill in there just for being awesome, for every handoff it made? So when your local mail carrier handed the letter off to the Seaport Authority, you'd get $20. This idea, where the letter can have work done on it across multiple blockchains, yeah, Polkadot enables this. Imagine the applications where permissioned private blockchain data can be leveraged on a public blockchain. You can see the potential there and why Ankr immediately teamed up way back in 2020. Now, if you're an Ankr investor, you might ask yourself at this point whether or not Polkadot is trading and if it is correlated. That is, if Polkadot has a coin, does it trade at a similar price? Do you recall this post that started out this whole video? It mentioned something called a DOT. I thought it was Department of Transportation. However, it actually refers to the name of the coin for this Polkadot technology. And if you grab a price chart, here's what we learned. We learned very quickly that the two coins are trading along very similar curves. The wave pressure and the trade to the upside or downside are trading consistently with each other. There are some differences between these two assets that you should be mindful of. Ankr has a fixed supply, which means that the Ankr team has to find incentives to buy back Ankr at some point. And if you stalk enough community groups, you'll learn that there are talks about a buyback happening. What this means is that the fixed supply will, over time, lead to upwards pressure on the underlying. In short, Ankr's price as it relates to US dollar will become very attractive. However, Polkadot has no fixed supply. The governance authority on Polkadot could, at any time, inflate the amount of coin in the marketplace. Now, they have a lot of good reasons not to do that. However, there are structural differences between the two coins that you should be mindful of if you're limiting yourself to only investing in one over the other. So far, we've learned what a DOT is, what a Polkadot is, doing connecting blockchains with the disruptive protocol, but I've not yet explained what a KSM is or the parachain bonds, let alone what an auction is. Let's cover that next. The symbol KSM stands for Kusama. Kusama is effectively the early adopter version for Polkadot. Effectively, it's a test environment. If you play Steam games, it's the equivalent of early access. Why are various blockchain teams interested in Kusama? Because it allows them to test their own chain technology, where Polkadot is going. Speaking of that, I mentioned that Polkadot is linking together chains. It does this by creating slots. Think of them as like stalls in a parking lot. These slots are auctioned off in what's called, and you guessed it, a dot auction. There's two pieces left in the puzzle. The last item is parachain bond. This is itself a fascinating topic once you start pulling the covers back. I might actually get into that in a future video. For the purposes of this video, let me explain it this way. The liquid staking features of KSM are fairly new, but I do want to highlight here on the screen this idea of staking cryptocurrency that you also have some liquidity access to, meaning you can use it and stake it at the same time. This is a pretty radical idea for anyone who has tried staking. Ankr is making that possible. That brings us to this last piece, and that's you. If the content interests you, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this in the future, click or tap subscribe. Lastly, if you want to join the conversation about Ankr or Polkadot, get started by leaving a comment below. Until next time, make waves, my friend.